Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be how to create a great social life. Well, if you're new to the city that you currently live in, or maybe you've gone off to college, or maybe you've always kind of been a hermit, and you want to know how to create a good social life where you can meet women to go out with and date and have relationships with, or at least hook up and get laid with, or you're just looking to expand your group of friends and meet some cool new people to hang out with. You know, it's interesting. When I was younger, I've talked about this a lot, like my family and how dysfunctional it was, and the fact that neither one of my parents had any friends that they hung out with, and they didn't hardly talk to any of our family members except during the holidays. And I remember when I was in middle school, and I found myself, I was getting really irritated with one of my friends. He was teasing me, he was messing with me, and I was just thinking, screw that person. And I thought to myself, you know what, I don't want to end up like my parents. I don't want to be my parents' age and not have one single friend or person that they hang out with. And it's like, you know, I talked to my dad about it. He points a finger and says it was all my mother's fault because of her illness. And it's like, my dad said things changed after she had my brother, which was, you know, there was two of us. And so, you know, I was about 3 at the time, and he says, like, once that happens, like, she changed. She was very protective. She didn't want other people around us, and she didn't like other people and their kids being around you kids. And she just always found flaws and faults with everybody. And it's like, as soon as she found a flaw or a fault with somebody, then she didn't want to have anything to do with them. And as she got older, that just kind of manifested it more to the point where she didn't want to talk to anybody in our family. My dad, just because, you know, he was just weak. That's the only way to put it. He just went along with everything because he didn't want to rock the boat. And I remember when I was in middle school, and I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to grow up and not have any friends or people that I hang out with. And so I remember making a conscious effort that, you know, or a conscious choice at that early stage in my life, that I wanted to focus more on making friends with people and getting people to like me. And so how did I go about it? Well, I actually started, even at that age, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but it's a very successful habit that I even do to this day, which is modeling the success of others. And so what I did is I watched the kids that were popular, that were funny, that everybody liked, everybody hung out with them, and I just watched behaviors, and I listened to things they said and things they did, picked up on some of their mannerisms, how they told the joke, when and how they dropped the punchline, their tone of their voice and how they explain things. And so as I've obviously gotten older and I've become an adult, when I was younger, I wanted to learn how to be a very successful person in business, because I didn't come from a family that was very well off financially. And so I started modeling and studying the success of other people. Anytime I came across somebody that had achieved something that I wanted to achieve, I wanted to sit down and talk to him, figure out how he did it, kind of look at his body language, the tone, listen to the tone of his voice, the things that he said. And so, like, from middle school up through high school, that's what I did. I hung out with all of the most popular kids, and I wouldn't say I was one of the most popular kids at school. It was like some of my best friends. They were the most popular guys in my class, and I was friends with them. Does that mean that I was popular too? It's like, I didn't look at it that way. I just knew everybody, and everybody seemed to like me. And I realized it was a lot better when someone teases you or messes with you to just laugh it off like it's no big deal, like nothing ever got under my skin. Because at the end of the day, I mean, back then I was small as shit. If I wanted to fight with somebody, like a lot of times I'd end up getting my ass kicked. And so I realized at a young age, it was better to make friends than try to piss people off or try to challenge people, and just always assume that people are just messing with you. And so when people mess with you, and it was interesting, like the middle school that I went to, it was at a time where the communities had been segregated, communities had been integrated, and so there were more black kids going to school with more white kids, and there was a lot of hate back then. There was a lot of anger, and like a lot of the kids, there were guys that were white and they were big, they got picked on, and you didn't want to walk in the bathroom by yourself if you were big, because you'd get jumped by 5 or 6 black guys just because there was, like I said, there was a lot of racial tension, there was a lot of hatred. And I mean, when I used to ride my bike home from school every day, I used to have to dodge rocks and bottles from kids throwing a hate cracker, threatening to steal my bike. I mean, it was a scary time when I was going to that school, and we had the principal, and there were a lot of teachers out there to try to prevent it, and so I had a real fear when I went to school every day of having physical harm. But I realized through humor and letting people mess with me and not taking shit personally, I basically made friends with all of the toughest black kids and white kids in my class. I got them to like me, especially the black kids, because all the big ones, the ones that the alphas that everybody was afraid of and respected, they basically made it known that they all called me Little Man, because I mean I was like 3.5 feet tall, and some of those guys were like 6 feet tall. And so, hey, if they wanted some advice or they needed help getting some homework done, it's like I was happy to help them out, because it was nice walking around school and not having to worry about people fucking with me or wanting to beat me up, which was happening to a lot of the kids that I knew, just because it was just happened to be the time that I grew up in. This was the early, late 70s, early 80s. Like I said, that particular school that I went to, there was a lot of racial tension there. There was a lot of hatred between black kids and white kids. And the way that I rose above it was to make friends with other people, was to become friends with everybody. And I became friends with the toughest guys in school. And therefore, because I was friends with them, nobody fucked with me. Because if people fucked with me, they'd be fucking with somebody that was going to kick their ass. And obviously that's a very extreme example, but I used humor. And how did it start out? It's like those guys would start messing with me, and they would start out with like a hateful look on their face, and I would just laugh it off like it was no big deal. And or I would use some self-deprecating humor. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm a fucking midget. It's like, what do you want? Or like back then, I had really bad freckles, and so people were always making fun of my freckles, and hey, connect the dots, shells in the beach, hey, freckle face, just all kinds of negative things. And I just laughed it off and used things as self-deprecating humor to make friends with other people, to get people to like me. And when they realized that no matter what they said to me, I was going to have a smile and a laugh for them and maybe some self-deprecating humor, eventually they accepted me, and they were cool, because I appeared to have a lot of confidence in them. I wasn't feeling fearful. I didn't get angry. I was going to control this situation, because if I was going to be a dick or threatening these guys, I would have been gotten the crap pounded out of me every day and got beat up every day riding home from school, even though I was having to dodge rocks and bottles and having to deal with a lot of racist, so it's like I understand what racism is like. I know what it's like to go to a school and be hated because of the color of your skin and to literally be under the threat of physical harm. I remember one day I saw there was this white kid. He got into a fight with a black kid, and there were literally like 150 black people. It was like a mob, just yelling at him, pushing him. This kid was crying, and it's like, so I was walking around the corner, and I saw this giant mob of, I never saw so much hate in people's eyes. And I just turned around and I went down a different hallway. But I mean, literally, it's like if you weren't good at making friends in that school, you were going to get the shit beat out of you. And so that served me well. And so I got an email here from a viewer. He says, hey, Mr. Wayne, I'm an 18-year-old international student at a community college, and I really want to help socially. I have school every day for 2 hours, and after that I work as a mechanic with really masculine men. And more importantly, I want to make friends. And I haven't made many friends yet in college, and I'm not sure how to. I just go to class, pay attention to the teacher without really talking to other people. I have some conversations, but I don't get friends or numbers, and how do I make friends? I really have 0 friends right now, and I also want to have fun, be invited to parties, and get laid, but I don't see any opportunities. In my work, my coworkers make jokes on me, and they see me as kind of a wuss and a candy ass, even though I often make jokes back too. Well, I did a video a while back called Improving Your Social Skills. So if you Google Corey Wayne, Improving Your Social Skills, that'll bring up a YouTube video that I did, and you can use that to go to the mall and start practicing talking to other people. and getting people to like you. Because here's the deal. When you ask questions in any interaction, whether it's guys or girls, if you're just asking questions about people, where they grew up, what they do for a living, what they like to do for fun, and you're sincerely interested and authentic about what they have to say, especially the guys that you work with at the mechanic shop. Hey, what did you guys do this weekend? Anything exciting? Let them tell you. Like, what did you do this weekend? Not get laid? It's like, yeah, I didn't get laid. I didn't do anything. I just moved to this town. I haven't made any friends yet. Is there anything cool going on this weekend that you guys could tell me about, or I should go and do? And I mean, ask people questions, because whoever's asking questions in any interaction, that person is controlling where the conversation goes. And when you ask questions, personal questions about another human being, where they grew up, what they like to go to school for, what they're majoring in, what they do for a living, what they like to do for fun, or if you're talking to a chick and you ask her opinion on relationships or dating or whatever it happens to be, people love to give you their opinions, and they love to talk about themselves. So anything you can do to ask people about themselves, to get them to talk about themselves, it creates rapport. It makes them feel like, because you're asking them basically the kind of things that an old friend would ask them, or somebody that cares about them would ask them. And when somebody talks to you for 10 or 15 minutes, and they're telling you all about their life story, where they grew up, what they like to do for fun, you're going, really? Wow, no shit. Huh. How'd you get into that? Tell me more. Don't leave anything out. Wow, that's fascinating. Really? Wow, what'd you do next? Oh my God. And you just sit there and you say things like that over and over. People are like, wow, this guy really cares about me. He's really interested in me. And they say, yeah, we're going to this really... It's like, well, what's going on fun this weekend here? I mean, you can ask people that. Where's a fun place to go on the weekend to meet people? What's a fun thing to do? Ask people those kinds of questions. You got to talk to other people. And by asking questions of other people, you'll get them to open up and feel more comfortable. And you just simply say, hey, well, give me your number, and if I'm around that area, or if I'm near that bar, or I'm near that place, maybe I'll stop by and have a drink with you guys or whatever. And you just say that. That's all you got to say, dude. But you got to practice. You got to start talking to people. And I'd say a good place to start is the video that I did on improving your social skills. Obviously, reading my book is a big thing that will help. And just start talking to people, asking them their opinion on things, and getting them to talk about themselves. I mean, because you're in college, and a simple thing is say, hey, what are you majoring in? That's a great thing to ask people. It's a great icebreaker. Then they'll go, what are you majoring in? It's simple stuff, but you can see just by asking questions like, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Really, wow, what's it like there? What do you do for fun in that town? What do you do for fun in that city? Are you going to stay? Are you going to move back there after you graduate from college? When you just ask questions like that, you get people talking. It creates rapport. It causes them to feel like they like you. And you don't have to do anything right away. Maybe the next day or the day after that, especially when the weekends come, you're like, hey, is there anything cool going on this weekend? That's something you can ask. Well, there's a party over on such and such street. It's like, well, let me get your number. I'll shoot you a text before I come. Make sure you guys are there or something. Get their number, and then just text them. Just say, hey, you guys going to be at that party this weekend? Or is that thing still going on that you heard about? That's all you got to do, dude. Repetition's the mother of skill. Practice makes perfect. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, which I highly recommend for you, that'd be a great starting point for you. Go to my website, and on the right-hand side, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side, there's a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app, and only a few more seconds after that to complete the purchase of my book. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these videos and articles and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website, and at the bottom of your screen, there will be a toolbar. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.